Welcome to the Creative Agency Account Manager podcast. I'm Jenny Plant and I'm on a mission to help account managers understand the agency business and develop an entrepreneurial mindset in their role so they can show up as a commercially aware advisor to their clients rather than a reactive order taker. Welcome to episode 144. Today I'm going to do a shorter solo episode. And it's all about how account managers can stay indispensable when AI is transforming everything about how marketing gets done. So the reason I wanted to do this episode is I ran an AI for client retention and growth webinar. And we had 285 people sign up and about 119 people showed up live, which, when it comes to webinars, that's a pretty good turnout, which shows me that this topic is very much top of mind, both for agency owners and account managers. So I'm going to cover three things. Number one, the current AI landscape as viewed by the client, the agency owner, and the account manager. Or maybe you might not have the title of account manager, but ultimately you are responsible for the management of the client relationship. Number two, my 4Ps framework for adopting AI in the account management role. And then number three use cases from my Account Accelerator program participants who've already used AI in their role to unlock, in one case, over $50,000 worth of new business, and also in the other cases, saving lots of hours every week. And I think most people working in marketing services agencies right now are seeing how AI is reshaping our entire industry, if not all industries. And Martin Sorrell, who is the chairman of the board of Media Monks and also the ex-CEO of WPP, spoke at an event in April, the Consumer Electronics Show. And he said that AI is more dramatic than anything we've ever seen, bigger than the internet, bigger than mobile, and agencies must now prove their relevance in an ecosystem dominated by algorithms and AI-driven platforms. So we're going to look at this from three different perspectives. Number one, the client's perspective. So clients' expectations of agencies are evolving quickly because ultimately what they want to achieve is their business outcome. And they can see that with AI, they can do it faster, perhaps more efficiently and more dynamically. So they are asking themselves the kinds of questions like, can I do this in-house? Because they're also operating in an environment where, for example, they need to show up in searches initiated in LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and Gemini. So their brand has to stay front and center of their customers' minds and their prospects' minds. And with things like autonomous agents beginning to act on behalf of their customers, how do then clients know how to market to those agents? So we've moved from B2C, B2B, and now we've got B2A. So they are looking for agencies who can help them in this new environment. If we look at the AI situation from the agency's perspective, agency owners are also reevaluating their own business model. For example, if clients now expect work faster, it also challenges the traditional pricing model of pricing by the hour. And I spoke to Tim Williams. You can look back at the previous podcast episodes. Tim Williams is a pricing strategist, a pricing expert in the agency space. And I think his quote was, what are you going to do? Price by the nanosecond? So it's not only challenging their pricing model, but agency owners are also looking at how can we not only embed AI firmly into our workflows, but also how can we innovate on behalf of our clients? How can we bring new ideas and perhaps tech products tailored to our clients' needs? And they're looking at these AI native agencies that are emerging, or AI-enabled agencies, And there's a couple that come to mind. There's an agency called No Good, which is a weird name for an agency to be called, but actually their proposition is very clever. They say, if you're looking for a traditional agency, we are no good for you, which I think is pretty good. Another one, Silverside AI, they ran the Coca-Cola advertising. And I think from memory, one of their statistics was, what ordinarily would have taken us a year now takes us 2 months. So we're looking at a different business model for agencies. So that's what's going through agency owners' minds. They're thinking, how can we innovate? How can we stay ahead and stay relevant? And also, how do we change our pricing potentially? And what talent do I need? What are the skills that I need to look for in a team to make sure that we hit the ground running and are embracing the AI technology? Thirdly, from an agency account manager perspective, many are already sort of proactively developing their AI skills. They're using AI in their day-to-day work. And currently, what they're looking to do is to go from where they are currently, which is like an admin-laden servicer to their clients, to speeding up those repetitive tasks and freeing themselves up to deepen the relationship with their clients. So deepen their understanding of their clients' needs, their KPIs, their specific business goals and challenges, so that they can come up with solutions and become more valuable to their clients. So let's begin with some statistics. Microsoft and LinkedIn conducted a report last year, 2024, which was called the Work Trend Index. And they surveyed 31,000 people. And the statistic that really stood out for me was that 66% of leaders would not hire someone without AI skills. So that's not a future prediction. That's actually what's happening right now. But if that doesn't grab you, here's what Gartner found in February 2025. They surveyed 418 marketing leaders and found that 73% of organizations are already using generative AI for marketing. So your clients aren't waiting to see what happens. They're already experimenting with AI tools themselves. Now, clearly, every client is going to vary. Some clients won't be using AI at all, but others are very forward thinking. So for those, in order to be valuable, we need to be leading. So what this kind of creates is what I call the AI learning race. Our clients are discovering AI capabilities at exactly the same time that we are. And to maintain our position as trusted advisors, we need to accelerate our learning and start leading our clients into this new landscape. So what this means is that the role of account manager is fundamentally going to shift. And gone are the days when we were simply the go-between for clients and creative teams. Clients today expect guidance, not just project updates, and they want strategic consultants who can interpret data and give it some business meaning so that we are looking at the future on behalf of our clients. So I've developed what I call the 4 Ps of AI for account management. And it's a framework that maps directly to the 4 levels of value that we provide to clients, but supercharged with AI capabilities. So I'm going to talk you through these 4 levels. The first level is the P of productive. So becoming a better responder. And this is foundational. So the first level of value for clients is that you are delivering high quality service faster and more efficiently for a client. That's how they see the value. So you need to be a great responder, but this is just entry stakes. So instead of spending hours summarizing meeting notes, for example, tools like Fireflies, Otter, Circleback, Fathom can do it instantly for you. So these AI note takers are foundational for account management, and they can really help you to speed up those follow-up emails and those contact reports. Also, custom GPTs can generate things like onboarding templates in minutes rather than hours. So the first level is thinking about your workflow in terms of what are those repetitive tasks that you do all the time, like the onboarding process, like the generation of a briefing document, like the follow-up to a client strategy call, like preparing for a meeting with a client or sharing some new ideas in a pitch deck with a client. All of this, we can be harnessing the power of AI to speed up the process, which is going to help free us up. So level 1 is the P for productive. Level 2 is the P for personalized and ultimately becoming a better servicer, because the second level of value for a client is that not only, this is cumulative, not only do you deliver a great service on time, on budget, more efficiently and faster, you are then providing the client with a great experience. They enjoy the process of working with you because you are able to use AI to make your client's experience more personalized. And what I mean by that, an example is tools like Humantic AI, for example, or Crystal. They are tools that plug into LinkedIn to look at your client's LinkedIn profile, and they actually can evaluate your client's preferred communication style or their approach to decisions. And it can even give you guidance on how to draft an email to a client, for example. So is it the type of client that needs a lot of detail included, or is it you just have to provide top line bullet points? Because let's face it, we need to adapt our communication style to align with our client style so that we can build that rapport and that trust faster. There's another tool called Poised, which I love, Poised AI, which also acts as your virtual coach when you are on calls with clients. So it essentially plugs into any meetings platform like Teams or Google Meet or Zoom, and it will coach you during client calls. For example, are you pausing enough? Are you asking enough questions? Are you using, for example, too many hedging words? Ums and ahs, and it will either give you real-time feedback to kind of allow you time to slow down or, pause or pace yourself, or you can simply have the report afterwards. And for someone like me that's into self-development, I'm always looking for ways to get better. And rather than seeing it as someone that's kind of watching you, this is for your own benefit. You don't have to share the results with anyone. So it's a bit like having a personal trainer for your client relationships. And last year, I actually invited the founder of Poised onto my podcast. So if you look back at previous episodes, you can find that one, because I really think it's a game changer for account managers. So that's level 2, personalized. Level 3 value for a client is not only do you provide high quality service on time, on budget, and faster and more efficient, not only a personalized experience with you, but you also provide an outcome. They actually get a return on their investment through working with you. And this is where you are more of a challenger. You're not a responder, you're not a servicer, you are a challenger. And the P here is prescribe. You're prescribing solutions to their business challenges. So you shift your focus on what you deliver and your projects on what does this mean for your client's business. So you understand the client's business environment. Who do they serve? Who are their customers? Who are their competitors? What are their personal KPIs? How are they being measured? So maybe you're sitting down with them on a yearly basis, planning out their marketing spend for the year. Maybe you're running strategic quarterly business reviews, bringing fresh ideas and thinking, but you start driving the business outcomes. For example, this sort of AI-enabled challenger that's able to prescribe solutions, you can use things like Perplexity Pro, for example. And I did a demonstration during the webinar of how quickly you can research your client's business. And not only that, but also generate marketing specific ideas to bring to your clients. And I ran the example and it kind of took 9 minutes. Obviously, I didn't run it for 9 minutes, but a cut down version. And it was phenomenal, the level of detail, plus how quickly it was able to take that information from different parts of the internet. It was all publicly available. So it's verifiable. You can check the sources because, as we know, AI hallucinates, and you have to always check your data. And then tools like Google's Notebook LM stores all client information in searchable folders. So this also helps you then look for growth opportunities. Where are they investing strategically their funds? And you can do search terms like strategic growth initiatives, for example, and it will tell you where they're focusing their spend. And if you can align your ideas to where the client's focusing their energy, then that is always beneficial. So we've had level 1, level 2, level 3, productive, personalize, prescribe. Level 4 is predict. So this is where you become a futurist on behalf of your client. So tools like Claude's artifacts, for example, let you create a functional app or a website or a game prototype or a quiz or an AI tool. This is where you can spot an idea through your research in Perplexity Pro, for example, and then turn that idea into a physical solution. And this is something that we haven't been able to do so quickly before. And it's just phenomenal. And again, I did a demonstration during the webinar, and it is pretty impressive what you can do. So those 4 levels of value, really where we can be operating as account managers, we're essentially trying to get more productive at level 1 so that we can double down on personalizing the client experience, prescribing the right strategies, tools, services to our clients, and then bringing the future to our clients first. And that's when you start to become truly valuable, rather than getting bogged down in repetitive tasks and admin. So let me share with you 3 examples from participants in my Account Accelerator program. Cassie works for an agency in the States called Magellan, which is a promotional merch company that service the educational industry, universities in the US. And before, her meetings were very much turning up and delivering credentials presentations, essentially very generic. But what she was able to do with AI is do a deeper dive research before she went to those meetings, so that she uncovered what her clients' strategic imperatives were, what was happening locally in the city, where she could pull out insights that were relevant to providing the right solutions. So instead of showing up with generic materials, she arrived with deep insights into what their challenges were, also competitively what was happening with other universities, and also spotting very quickly growth opportunities. So she positioned herself as more valuable and more strategic. And as a result of scheduling these face-to-face meetings, uncovering the insights before she went, co-creating an agenda with clients, turning up with relevant ideas to stimulate the client because they didn't think, gosh, that's not relevant. She brought back nearly $50,000 worth of additional business because she'd hit the mark with those clients. They were impressed with what she was bringing. It was relevant to where they were, and they bought into the ideas that she was presenting. So that is an example of a direct return on investment through leveraging AI in an account manager's role. The second example I've got you is Stephanie. Stephanie works at Noble, which is a digital marketing agency that focuses in the US on the travel and tourism market. Her challenge was she used to hold a lot of client information and client context in her head. And what she found was, before she started using AI, she would get interruptions from her team members asking about client preferences or client brand guidelines or specifics that they had mandated, or even past conversations she'd had with clients that she was mandated to pass on to the team. So what she did with AI was she used Notebook LM to create dedicated knowledge folders for each of her clients. And the transformation was immediate. So she's found it's reduced the number of interruptions from teams because people can go directly to those folders and ask questions to retrieve the information that they need. And this, most importantly, has freed her up to focus on deeper, more strategic work. And also it has speeded up their onboarding process for new starters in the team. Because when you're scheduling a handover meeting with a member of the team, maybe you're swapping accounts or you're bringing on a new team member, it's all information that we have to pass on to other people. And actually, if you can create a folder with all of your client information, then you can direct people to look there before they come and ask you. So it makes you more efficient. So that's another example. A third example is Andy. Andy works at Made to See. He's the head of technology and customer success. And his agency produces a lot of webinars for clients. They are the webinar experts. And they also do a lot of repurposing of content, generation of content. And what they found was a lot of this work was quite manual and time intensive. But now they've incorporated AI into their workflows, and it handles the heavy lifting of turning webinars and all of that rich information into all of the materials, blog posts, social media carousels, video clips, and all of that can be done faster. Obviously, they layer upon it their creative magic, but they can work faster and quicker. And what this has allowed Andy to do is to proactively approach clients with content repurposing ideas. Rather than waiting for briefs, he's able to show them the potential of what they could be doing. So this has positioned him as more of a strategic partner rather than a reactive responder. So you can refer back to those levels of value. You don't want to be in responder mode all the time. If that's how your client sees you, you have a very short shelf life. For those of you who are wondering, where do I start with all this AI stuff? Or maybe you haven't got going yet. The important thing to say here is you're not behind. No one's behind. We're all playing catch up all the time because, quite frankly, it's moving so quickly. But think about an AI skills ladder in terms of the competencies that you could be mastering. So level 1 is just AI awareness. Understand what's possible and try to stay current with developments or stay ahead. Choose a source of information that is updated regularly. I love the Marketing AI Institute. They have a podcast every week, and I find that it really keeps me ahead of what's developing. So it's something you can just plug into on a weekly basis and listen. So follow the AI developments and understand how they are impacting your clients' industries. Level 2 is prompting. So I don't know about you, but when I used AI in the past, I was really underwhelmed by the output. It's always generic. It always kind of agrees with me. And it just really was bland. But that was before I kind of realized that it really depends on the quality of the prompt. So learning to communicate effectively with AI tools is level 2. It's mastering how to prompt. And this is like learning to brief a very capable junior colleague. Be specific, provide context, clarify what you want the output to look like. Be very specific about your tone of voice and provide examples. So there's lots of information online you can find about how to prompt. But level 2, in terms of a skill set for account managers, are prompting skills. Level 3 is workflow integration. So this is about systematically incorporating AI into your daily processes. And this is where tools like Zapier come in, where you can connect various AI tools to create an automated workflow. So I also showed an example of a workflow where at the end of a meeting that I have with Fireflies enabled, the transcript using Zapier can go directly and instantly to my ChatGPT account. And from my ChatGPT account, it can then go to my Gmail account and appear as a draft. And what I asked ChatGPT to do is not only summarize the email, and provide the action points, but then also give me the client's sentiment, which means, was there anything that I didn't pick up in that meeting from what the client said that would lead you to think that there was some kind of negative connotation or negative sentiment? So was the client disengaged? Were they using kind of more negative language? And this is an early warning sign of churn risk. So again, thinking about your workflow and how you could not only create some custom GPTs, but then also pull together a workflow where it will help you speed up your daily processes. Level 4 is ethics and risks. So understanding data privacy. Like when you're using these tools, it's really important to understand how your client's data is being held. Who holds the data? Do you have permission to use their data? And the tool limitations. So this includes knowing what client data you can safely upload and understanding the limitations of AI outputs. And it's really important to talk to a lawyer as well, which is something I'm doing. I'm updating all of my terms and conditions to explain how I'm using AI. So I have ChatGPT Teams level accounts. It doesn't use your inputs to train its model. So that is foundational. Never upload anything to a tool that is not your information. It's client information. Obviously, I think that goes without saying because we don't know where we are. The legalities of using AI are catching up. They haven't caught up. And there's various big court cases at the moment. There was one in June 2025 in the High Court in London between Getty Images and Stable Diffusion. Getty Images claimed that Stable Diffusion had literally scraped their database of proprietary images. And so, yeah, it's a little bit like the Wild West at the moment, but knowing which tools can safeguard your information and not share it is key, and not use it to train their own models. Level 5 is autonomous agents, which is happening right now. Setting up AI systems that work independently to support your client relationships. This is the future state where AI handles routine tasks entirely, which is where we're heading. We're already kind of there, but it's just getting better every day. But it's going to free you up. So already there's examples of ChatGPT incorporating agents into their tools where you can get an AI tool to book an appointment for you in a restaurant, for example. So that's the future. That's where we're headed. We're kind of there, but I don't think that's been widely adopted just yet. And most account managers I work with are somewhere between levels 1 and 2 with most of their clients. Some clients see you at level 3 and 4. The goal here isn't to become someone who's high tech. You don't necessarily, there's a lot of no-code tools like Claude or Replit, and you can use prompts which generate outputs like apps, for example, but you don't have to know coding to do that. And I just want to address, before we kind of wrap up, 3 of the biggest mistakes I see account managers falling into. The first one is over-reliance on AI tools. AI is really powerful, as we've talked about, but it's not perfect. Think of it like GPS navigation, helpful for getting directions, but if it tells you to drive into a lake, don't follow it blindly. Always apply human judgment to your outputs. Always review and make sure it's accurate. Because if you send stuff to your client that looks overly contrived, that looks like you've generated it using AI, you're going to lose the trust. Which leads me on to the next point, which is losing the human touch. Clients buy from people, not algorithms at the moment. All the time our clients are human, they buy from people. If AI makes you sound robotic or you rely too heavily on templates, you're going to lose the authentic connection that makes you memorable and trusted. And the third point is data privacy concerns. Be careful what client information you upload into AI tools. Always make sure that your agency has an AI council deciding on how AI is being used, an AI vision for how it's going to be used in the agency long term, and also an AI policy for how everyone should be using it and not using it. Because trust is everything in our business. And one data mishap can destroy years of relationship building. So if you're an agency owner wondering about the ROI of upskilling your account managers in AI, you need to also think about retention and talent attraction, because account managers who feel equipped with cutting edge skills and can see clear career progression are far more likely to stay and grow with your agency. Frankly, in a talent market where 66% of leaders prioritize AI skills, this isn't just about current performance. It's about future-proofing your team. I'm going to wrap up with a conclusion. The transformation is happening whether we participate or not. The question isn't whether AI is going to change account management. It's whether you'll lead that change or be swept along by it. If you're already using AI in your role, keep doing it. Keep trying to use it on a day-to-day basis. Get good at it. And if you feel that you want to assess where you are with your AI use and future-proof your approach, I've actually created a resource that hopefully is going to be useful. What you can do is take a quiz. I've called it, Are You AI Ready? For your client retention and growth strategy. So you can head to my website, accountmanagementskills.com, and take the quiz. It's going to take you about 3 to 5 minutes, and you'll receive a detailed report with ideas and suggestions tailored to your current situation. Go to my website, accountmanagementskills.com, take the quiz. And if you feel that you're ready to take the next step, you want to upskill yourself, then I'm running an AI-enabled Account Accelerator program, which is a 12-week program that starts on the 16th of September, 2025. So if you're listening to this before then, please get in touch. You can go to my website, accountmanagementskills.com, and book a call with me to see if it's a good fit. You can see all the details on my website, or you can reach me on LinkedIn at Jenny Plant. So a couple of options there for you. I hope you found this interesting and useful. Thanks for listening again to this podcast. I really appreciate everyone that gives me feedback about the podcast. I hope it's useful for your role, and I hope this episode has sparked some ideas for how you can transform your approach using AI. So please, if you've enjoyed it, share it with a colleague who you think might benefit. Stay well, keep evolving, keep improving, keep growing, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next episode.